So I've been doing Valheim builds for about as long as Valheim has been around. Sometimes when I do these builds, I get a request. But this person here said, what? No bunk beds? So last week I did a, let's call it a community request day, and I started the bunk beds part. Here I present to you 10 bunk beds in Valheim, and they all work. We'll walk through each one, and then after we walk through, we'll do a little cinematic. So right off the top, we went with just probably the most basic design that we could, just barely kind of pushing the design a little bit. Mostly wood. You'll notice that there's core wood in some of the spots. Core wood has this really nice stacking that kind of gives you, instead of giving you the length of that, it can give you just half of that on both ends. So if you're having a hard time, one of the factors regarding all these beds is they don't work if you can't stand or walk over them. If you can stand on the bed and walk off of it, then it does work. I mean, let me rephrase. It'll work anyway, but you'll have to destroy it to get out of it if you don't do at least that. That's the bottom part. So sometimes I just needed a little bit higher. You can see that's where it would have been. When you get out of this bed at this height, it just kind of keeps you stuck. So I just bumped it up by 1. And then I just thought design-wise it looked kind of nice with the double core. And then this has a nice little frame for the younger Vikings out there. You never know. Somebody might fall. If you roll around in bed while you're dreaming of Odin. Second one, I decided to go kind of primarily core wood, and it's more or less the same design as the first one, but just kind of changed up a smidge. The ladders on the left side here. We have just some extra design on the back end on the bottom, and then I used some doors for the top bit here just to, again, kind of give it a little extra design zhuzh. While you're sleeping, you don't want light, you know, hitting you from the side, so you can block your head from light if you want to take a day nap. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And again, this one works just fine. Like I said, as long as you can get off of it, it works fine. Our third one is, again, essentially the same design, but I just kind of went up the line regarding the material. What I did here is I made it to where there's a back. So this will go up against a wall or something, and then you'd come out only the front. And the same thing kind of applies up here. Just real protected, real closed off, real private. And then I thought, since I'm going along with the line here of wood, core wood, and then dark wood, why not stone? Stone is kind of awful because it's super chunky. Kind of worked out. This is kind of our diving board bunk bed. This side you'd have to get down over here. Getting on is hard because of just how the steps work. There are ways to make the steps a little better, but if you're in this bed, you can get out. So this one works just fine. The rest of it just, you know, looks perfect. With the diving board build, I decided to give it just a little bit of privacy on one side, and then the entrance for the bottom one's on this side, and the entrance for the top kind of on this side. You can obviously walk through these things, but it's kind of nice. The blue is probably the best for these. Then I went with an over-design build, something a little more cozy. This is using elements from basically the first two, plus something I've always liked. I watched one guy use or build a wall with stools, and that's this stool right here. You have to line each one up individually. It's very tedious, very annoying, but it comes out looking great. It just looks so good. And I didn't want to go like all the way around. Obviously you have to be able to get into this thing. The top bit, again, just some core wood, kind of give it a corner shape, and then lay the bed in there. Yeah, this is probably, per the resource, maybe one of the more expensive ones. I don't know. So yeah, this one was a lot of fun to make. And then, you know, some carpet to boot. So the 6th one I built is very, 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 very minimal. Almost like a floating one. But what I like about it is that you walk straight across it. It's flush with the ground. It's using that same trick that I use to make things flush with the ground, which is just using the core wood to go down a level. And then I place flooring down there, so it's down a level. This one's pretty simple. I didn't go too ham with this. The part here that I was hoping would maybe give people ideas of their own is this bit. The rest of this is kind of just to prove that it is, in fact, a bunk bed. This one, I think, is probably my favorite so far. Of the builds, when I made this one, I remade it 2 or 3 times. This one just looks nice. It's like a bunk bed for a king and his twin brother. Like, the fact that they're both full beds, like the bigger beds, makes it kind of nice. The stairs come off at an angle. The flooring makes it. There's a cool little circle here. So what I've done here, these won't connect officially. So I just laid them into each other. So here I can show you real fast. So that one connects there. If I connect this one here, it goes over. So you just connect it on this side, so it'll be flush all the way through. But this one is by far one of my favorites. I've got the frame basically covered up on the bottom, so it just looks like a different bed just from that alone. And I'll be frank, if you get rid of everything on the top and you just leave the bed with those wood posts like just right into the edge, it looks really nice all by itself. And then there's a little round flooring just to, you know, make it better. But again, you can walk right through this just fine. 8, I just realized when I was building it, I didn't use any of these crosses. So we went with a cross shape. Pretty, again, simple, but actually really kind of pretty and interesting looking. And then a little carpet to just, you know, give it a little extra zhuzh and design. Nothing crazy here. You can come out both sides. You can walk right along it. It's great. It's wondrous. How cool. This one is probably my second favorite, aside from that circular one over there. This one has the wood shutters, kind of giving it an extra frame look. And these 2 things back here are doors. I laid 2 of these big doors like this, and I close them like that. And that's kind of how you have the basis of that frame. I've got the wood frame laid in. I've got the shutters kind of giving it an extra whatever. You can get on this bed and you can get off this bed, but you have to jump just because of the shutters. You could, I guess, open a shutter and then let yourself in or out. Oops, hold on. There you go. Nice little platform up here and then a full bed up here. It almost has a like dragon mouth kind of look. I'm sure there's a little bit more design that I could go with there to give it a little bit more of a dragon mouth or something. And then our final bed kind of started as a joke, like laying in a bed of fire. If you lay on this, you'll catch on fire. Be sure of that. But it does say it's an unclaimed bed. So I think if there's a roof over this, it's gonna work. And then up here, it's just got this kind of nice little like pointed design, and then a bed laid into that. I kind of want to throw a roof on this one and just see if this totally works. This is gonna be so funny if this works. You I bet I wake up naked. Oh no, I don't think I take any damage right now. I'm so rested. Okay, so that works. Just fine. Oh, verified and tested live on stream. So yeah, that's it. Those are my 10 bunk bed design ideas. I hope that helps inspire someone in some way or another. If you have any questions about this kind of stuff, let me know. I'm all down for ideas, and then taking that idea and making a whole another video out of it. Sure. So if you ever come up with anything that you would like to see me make 10 of, or 5 of, or however many of, I would love to do that. A bonfire bed, probably. Probably. We'll see. I'm so rested. Okay, so that works. Just fine. Oh, verified and tested live on stream.